In this video we're going to explore rounding numbers. We round for a couple different reasons. One may be that we don't know an exact value, and this is especially true with distance and with populations. For example, I don't know my exact distance home. I would say that it's about 12 miles away. Also, it's easier to understand an approximate value or rounded value than it is often to understand the exact value. For example, if I buy a car, it'd be much easier to tell someone I paid $17,000 or even $17,300 than it would be to say that I paid $17,283.42. And that's hard for me to remember as well. When I round, I'm going to be looking for a number that's nearby with fewer non-zero digits. And we often round to a place value, and you'll be told that place value. So like round to the hundredth, round to the tenth, round to the whole place or the ones place, round to the tens place. And when we round, we're going to look at the value we're actually trying to round to, and we look to the value directly to the right. If that value is 0 to 4, we leave the number as it is. If that value is 5 to 9, we round it up 1 unit. One unique aspect is if you're in engineering and that number to the right is a 5, they will round to the closest even number. But that's primarily in engineering. Everywhere else, this is the primary rule we're going to use. So say we have 7 and 459 thousandths, and we want to round to the nearest hundredth. Well, my hundredth is the 5, so I'll look to the right. I say that's a 9. A 9 means I'm going to round my 5 up 1 unit, and that will leave me with 7 and 46 hundredths. So I've got the same number, and I want to round to the 10th. In this case, I know my 10th is the 4. I look to the number directly to the right, which is my 5, and say, okay, 5 means I round up 1 unit, so I end up with 7 and 5 tenths. Now if I want to round to the nearest whole number, that would be my 7, so I look directly to the right, which is to the 4, and then I say, okay, 4, since it's less than 5, that means I'm going to stay as I am. In this case, that would be 7. Now, when we talk about rounding, it's important to understand when we're looking at numbers whether they may be actual or approximate quantities. And context is going to be your biggest clue. For example, especially when we're talking about something like weight, if I see just 15 versus 15.00, that would tell me that this would be most likely an actual measurement, whereas this is approximate. Just by adding decimal values, I can often assume that that value has been rounded to some extent. Also, numbers that are describing quantities such as distance and population, weight, they are often rounded in some format because it's very difficult to get exact values. So when we report quantities, we want to make sure that we look at what were our original measurements and that we round to the same amount of places or fewer. So example, say I have 12.9 ounces of soda and I split it among 4 friends. Now because it's 12 and 9 tenths, that's an approximate value. There may be a little bit more, a little bit less than that, but that's my approximate value. So if I divide that by 4, I'd get 3 and 225 thousandths. Well, I can't state that because my original was an approximate, so I can only go as many place values as my original value. In this case, it can only go to the 10th. So I'm going to round to my 10th place, and I'd say that each friend got 3 and 2/10 ounces.